Hey guys, what's going on? Darren here, and welcome back to the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. And this time, we're at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. If you haven't checked out the last round, go back, go check it out, the Hungarian Grand Prix. We had a fantastic race where we fought through the field from the back to finish in the points. And it was an incredible race with a lot of good overtakes. And yeah, a lot of good racing. So as you can see in the performance index, we are now the 4th fastest car in F1. And we are steaming towards the likes of Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull Racing. So it might not be too long before we actually end up as the fastest car in F1, which will be so sick, because I think after that point we can definitely look at challenging for the Drivers' Championship, especially in Season 3. Anyway, we're going to dive straight into qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. We haven't got time to be doing Pirelli hot laps anymore because there's so much happening all the time now. Anyway, qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. Last season in qualifying, we did a 1:47.6. Now, I have a very sneaking suspicion we are going to absolutely obliterate that in qualifying. And we're probably going to destroy it in qualifying 1, let alone qualifying 2, and maybe even qualifying 3 if we get through to there. So anyway, in qualifying 1, we do a 1:45.409, so that's over 2.2 seconds faster than last season. And that is enough to see us through to qualifying 2 for the Belgian Grand Prix. Alain Prost also got the Pulse Motorsport car through to Q2 as well, so we got both cars into Q2, something that I feel like wouldn't have happened under Théo Pourchaire, but thankfully with us having a driver like Alain Prost, who very kindly came out of retirement and turned back the clock a few years. Thanks to him doing that, we have got a driver who is capable of getting this car into places where it really deserves to be. So anyway, you can see here in Q2 now, going through the Leclerc chicane. We're currently 3/10 up on our first lap. Our first lap was a banker lap done on a used set of soft compound tyres that I used from qualifying 1. So yeah, you can see as we go through Rivage, we're going to make up a lot of time. Look at that, 4/10 now up. And by the end of the lap, you're about to see we're actually 8/10 up on our previous lap, 9/10 even. And that is a 1:45.0, and that is enough to see us through to qualifying 3 as we're in 7th place. And now we're going for our final lap in qualifying. And this is to try and maybe even get the car on pole position. You can see we're currently in 7th place. Just in front of us is George Russell in the Mercedes. And, well, he's going to give us a very nice tow up Eau Rouge and down the Kemmel Straight, which I think can work very nicely in our favour here. You can see we're now 0.06 of a second up. And we're in the slipstream and we're getting a bit of a tow, because you can see we're actually a 10th up by the end of the chicane. We break a little bit early, so we now go into the red. But as we go through Le Combe and now on the run to Rivage, you can see we're now 2/10 up on George Russell. But Russell makes a mistake. Russell made a mistake. He ran a little bit wide and brought it back, but that slowed him down. But not only did that slow him down, it also slowed me down a little bit as well. And so we were 3/10 up on our previous lap, but we've lost all 3/10. And now we go through Pouhon, run a little bit wide. But thankfully we lost time, so there's no issues with that. And you can see we actually lost about 1/10 of a second. So we lost a 10th there running through Pouhon. So we've now lost 4/10 of a second in this lap alone. So that's 4/10 down. But now, with the slipstream on George Russell, we're going to gain a lot of time. Through Blanchimont we go. And now look at this run. Look at the time. It's just climbing and climbing and climbing. We're now a 10.5 under. Make that 2/10 and maybe even 3/10 as we reach the bus stop chicane. It's now 4/10 of a second, and we brake so late into that chicane there. It's going to be a 3/10 improvement here in Spa, and we're going to be in P7 for the Belgian Grand Prix.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher back in 1992. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there's no place quite like it. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Norris, Charles Leclerc, Bennett, Russell, Ricciardo, Prost and Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Kevin Magnussen and Tsunoda, Albon, Hamilton, Guan Yu Zhou and Sebastian Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Stroll, Schwartzman and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So in the end, we were something like 3 seconds faster than we were last season in qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix, that's ridiculous. This car is so much better than it was in Season 1. And also, of course, I'm a better driver than I was in Season 1 as well. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy, guys. Anyway, it's time for this Grand Prix. If you guys are ready for this race, please do smash the like button down below. We get off the line. All right, we don't lose any positions, actually. I think we maybe lost one to George Russell, actually. But overall, it was a good start. But you can see now on the run, down the Kemmel straight into Lake Com with the ERS. We're going to go down the inside on George Russell. Max Verstappen runs very deep there. And that holds Charles Leclerc up. Somehow Leclerc didn't run into the back of Verstappen. And somehow we didn't run into the back of Charles Leclerc. But it brought George Russell back in front of us. But as we go into Rivage, we've got the inside line on George Russell. And through we go. And up into P6. And look at this run now as we go through Liège. You can see this, the guys in front, they're all very close together. And I think this is going to be a very exciting Belgian Grand Prix if we can stick with the top 5. We've got the pace in the straight line, I think, to be able to do it, because we have got, as I've said before, the most powerful engine in Formula 1. And with that power, we should be able to keep up with these guys and hopefully find a way past them very quickly, provided we can stick with them through the corners as we go around now. The right-hander now, we're on the run into Blanchard, and now we're closing down on Charles Leclerc. This is what I was saying, we've got that power advantage, and you can see just how quickly we're closing up to Charles Leclerc. We're going to have a run around the outside into the bus stop, are we? No, Leclerc brakes very late, and he hits the back of Max Verstappen, and he's broken his front wing. Charles Leclerc there, what was he doing? He went for a dive down the inside on Max Verstappen and rear-ended him and has broken his front wing. And as we go now into Rivage, you can see there, you can see him without that front downforce, he's all over the place, and we go very quickly past Charles Leclerc and take 5th place in this Belgian Grand Prix. So a big mistake there by by Charles Leclerc sees him lose a lot of places. And
information on Sainz. They seem to have an issue.
So, as I was just about to say, Charles Leclerc made a terrible mistake and has now lost a lot of positions, because as you can see on the minimap, he's had to dive into the pits, and he's not the only one in the pits. There's quite a lot of other cars in the pits. Daniel Ricciardo's in the pits. We've got an Alfa Romeo in the pits. A Haas also pitted as well. So a lot of carnage in the early stages of this Belgian Grand Prix. And now we find out that Carlos Sainz has an engine issue. And not only does Carlos Sainz have an engine issue, he's holding up Lando Norris. So down the Kemmel straight with the DRS, we go past not one, but 2 cars into Lake Com as we go past Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. And now we're up into the podium positions, up in 3rd place here at Spa. And now we set a fastest lap of the race, a 1:47.0. And to put that in context, last season we did a 1:50.5. Now last season our race only lasted about 10 laps, but we did a 1:50.5. So on lap 5, we've gone, what's that, 3.5 seconds faster than we did in season 1 in 10 laps. So that is just, again, incredible pace in this Pulse Motorsports car. And with that incredible pace, we blast past Max Verstappen and take 2nd place here at Spa. As we go now to lap number 8, and we've closed down the gap to his teammate Sergio Perez and open up the gap from Max Verstappen. We have some incredible pace here today. And now are we going to be able to get Sergio Perez for the lead? No, Perez comes across us, blocks the inside line so that we can't go down the inside there. A beautiful bit of defending by Sergio Perez. The Mexican Minister of Defense is not going to give up this one very easily. And you can see he runs it a little bit wide just to block us there again. So Perez is doing an incredible job of blocking the positions, blocking the inside line so we can't go down the inside. And now look at this, he's going to the inside again. He's going to the bus stop chicane. Perez is blocking for all his worth. Some great defending by Sergio Perez and the AI here today at Spa. But surely that's going to work against him now because he's ran a little bit deep into the bus stop. So surely that we have got the run on him now. And we are close to him as we go through La Source. And now on the run down to Eau Rouge, we're going to use this to set up Sergio Perez to hopefully blast past him and take the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Here we go then. Use the overtake button. And we get a good slingshot on Perez. Perez does go to the inside. But right around the outside of Perez we go. And we take the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix from Sergio Perez. So now we are in the lead. And with our tyre wear upgrades, it's surely going to be very difficult for the guys behind us to keep up. You can see we've dropped Max Verstappen, as has Sergio Perez actually. Both of us have dropped Max Verstappen fairly considerably. It's a 4-second gap from us to Max, with Perez being 4 seconds behind. And you can see now as we go to lap number 15, we stayed out all the way to lap 15 here at Spa. And now we're going to be diving into the pits at the end of this lap, but we're going to go onto the soft compound tyres to do 6 laps to take us to the end of this Belgian Grand Prix. These mediums have gone a very, very long way into this race, so the softs should easily do 6 laps. But yeah, with the tyre wear upgrades, I was feeling very confident that we could just stay out and do lap after lap after lap. And you can see that Perez hasn't really closed the gap. He boxed on lap 11, I think. So in those 5 laps, has closed about maybe 3 seconds on us. So he should take the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. But with the soft tyres, yeah, I have a feeling we're going to blast past him very, very quickly. So through goes Sergio Perez to retake the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. We come up behind him, but on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. And as we go now to the end of lap 16, start to lap 17, this is going to be our fastest lap attempt. We currently hold the fastest lap, but we're going to go and we're going to try and beat our current fastest lap, which is a 146.8. Yeah, I have a feeling we are going to absolutely smash that in this race now, because we've got the ERS, we're going to get the DRS, and we've got fresh soft compound tyres as well. And we've got a beautiful slipstream on Sergio Perez, and up Eau Rouge and round on we go. And much like earlier in the race, with the DRS and the ERS, we blast right around the outside of Sergio Perez and retake the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix as we go into Les Combes now. And surely with these soft compound tyres, we're going to open up a very considerable gap to Sergio Perez. It's already 0.6 of a second. What is it going to be by the end of the lap? I have a feeling it's probably going to be like a second to a second and a half maybe. You can see it's gone up now to 0.8 and now 0.9 as we go through Liège into Pouhon corner. Pouhon, a beautiful corner. It's a fast left-hander. And then through Pouhon into Curve Paul Frere, I believe it's called. I think it's called Curve Paul Frere anyway, or at least it used to be. And now we're 1.3 seconds up on Sergio Perez. We go through Fagnes now. And it's 1.5, 1.7. It might even be 2 seconds by the end of this lap. We've gone purple in the middle sector. And now through Blanchemont we go. We've hit a 2 seconds past Sergio Perez. So he started the lap half a second ahead. And he's going to end it over 2.3 seconds behind us. That is the pace advantage with these soft compound tyres. And what sort of lap time are we going to do? We run to the line. It's a 1:44.528 seconds. And just as a reminder, last season we did a 1:50.5 in the Grand Prix, so we're 6 seconds faster in the Grand Prix than we were last season, that's just staggering. And unsurprisingly, we now jump to the end of the race And we have won the Belgian Grand Prix in dominant fashion.
That's the race win. That is the race win. You've been amazing today, mate. You deserve that. Well done.
A difficult race then on one of the all-time classic circuits, but they persevered to take the win here today. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way onto the podium now.
So a dominant performance by us in the end. Huge tyre wear advantage over the guys around us, and we use that to absolute perfection to win the Belgian Grand Prix by, yeah, quite some margin in the end. I think it was like 10 seconds to Sergio Perez in second place, which is, yeah, that's a very dominant performance by us. Smash the like button, guys, if you enjoyed that, because, yeah, that was pretty dominant from us. So, as I said, we won the Belgian Grand Prix by 10 seconds from Sergio Perez in second place. Max Verstappen ends the race in third. Carlos Sainz gets past Lando Norris to take fourth place. Lando Norris himself finishes in fifth, and I think with that will retake the lead of the Drivers' Championship from Charles Leclerc. George Russell in sixth, Alain Prost a beautiful seventh, Alonso in eighth, Gasly ninth, and Esteban Ocon rounds out the top 10. So Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton did not finish in the points today. Only one driver didn't finish the Grand Prix, and that was Alexander Albon. So it's going to the driver's standings now, and as I said, Lando Norris retakes the lead of the Drivers' Championship by 4 points from Charles Leclerc. We move up to 6th place in the Drivers' Championship, and Alain Prost is now up to 13th in the Drivers' Championship after just a few races. In the Constructors' standings, Pulse Motorsports very much nailed on for 5th place now. There's a chance we can get 4th, but I do think it's a bit unlikely this season. So as you can see now, we're on the run into the Dutch Grand Prix, which is next. But just before we go to the Dutch Grand Prix, as you can see, we had a front wing upgrade go onto the car, and we've got a lot of resource points to spend. So we are going to spend them, and we're going to spend them on a brake upgrade, and we're going to try and rush it on for the Italian Grand Prix. If we can get that on, that's going to be beautiful for us, because Monza has got a lot of heavy braking zones. And not only are we going to put that on, but we're actually also going to try and get on, as a rushed upgrade, a drag reduction upgrade as well for the Italian Grand Prix. See, we're currently just taking a look at possibly putting on some more rear downforce, but we don't need that. But we do need some drag reduction, especially for Monza, so we are going to try and get that on as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, comment, leave a like, and if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel for more F1 content. We'll see you again soon for the Dutch Grand Prix. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.